What up, guys? Natsu here, coming at you with my newest version of the ESO Mirage build. Been quite a while since I made a video because I don't really play Warframe anymore, but a buddy of mine asked me to give him my build, and I figured I just throw the whole package out there for anybody to enjoy. So I'm gonna start with Mirage itself. The build is pretty straightforward. I will say up front, this is not very user-friendly. You have to play very active to make this build work. Um, and then also like if you were to bring this anywhere else, like in a I don't know steel path or whatever mission that goes into higher levels, I would probably just use the weapons platform build instead of this. But that's your call. 2 points here. The transient fortitude, I usually use auger reach instead. From my testing, every time I do an 8 wave run, I end up with like 150 more kills on the Augur Reach one, but it really depends on the ESO mission cycle, I think. But if you feel like you don't need the extra strength, which you don't really do unless you go for like leaderboard runs, then you could also put Archon Flow in here if you feel the need, like because this is just using the base energy, which is 225 plus the proc that you get from the Gamma Core. So it's pretty tight. It works for me, but as I said, it is not very user friendly. The aura is obviously corrosive protection. You can really use anything you want here. If you solo, this is not gonna matter. In a group, if 4 people run this, then yeah, obviously. Cunning Drift is just the best choice for the Exilus slot here because you want as much range as possible. And then obviously Archon stretch and overextended. I mean, Mirage is really the poster child for the Archon mods. Every single one of them just works on her, like absolutely beautiful. Especially continuity gives you access to corrosive, which makes green shards live, which is why I'm running 5 of them. Blind Rage, Intensify for power, Explosive Ledger Domain, so this works. And Archon Vitality is actually the biggest DPS source for her mines for some reason. I don't really get why, but yeah, it is what it is. And then just 2 arcades. I mean, Augmented goes on pretty much any caster build nowadays. And Impetus is like, I don't know what exactly causes this, but if I'm like at wave 8 in ESO, I always have like 12 stacks of this. I think it has to do with the bond mods on your companion, but I'm not quite sure. But even if it wasn't bugged, you will still have 5 stacks, so that's really great. It's basically a free intensify. Then I use the Glaxion Vandal. This mod affects your mines, so really you could use any weapon here with this mod on to make your mines spread the cold stuff. And then I use this for orb generation and primary exhilarate. So basically I'm using this as a mana battery. Pretty much all my gear is just there to give me energy when I need it. And that's the point of the next weapon here, which is the Sinnoh Gamma Core. Yeah, pretty like this is for energy. Fortifier is to make yourself status immune if you shoot an Eximus. And yeah, the rest is just for killing. I modded it for blast because in ESO it makes the most sense. And the Syndicate proc, obviously. 25% max energy is really, really good. And also that magnetic proc, is another status that enemies have on them, which is relevant in some cases. And then we have my Zor. You can really use any melee here. Any Zor with Exodia Brave will obviously be a huge improvement. You could also run a Glaive if you feel like you want to kill mobs in melee for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm using this as a utility shtick. It got heavily nerfed by the slam nerfs overall, but it still works, and it's still 15 energy per second. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And then the most important part of this build, actually, the Hound, which is, when it comes to damage, it's the best pet in the game, bar none. Even the Panzer cannot keep up with this. Like this is ridiculous. This is way better than any Sentinel with what was it? Was it wasn't cryo? Whatever Sentinel weapon is meta right now. Like this is better. This is just infinitely better. And all this guy does is well, first things first, he kills everything in a room, which is nice. But also, I think it's the best source for synth deconstruct abuse, which makes it so that you have more red orbs, which turns into DPS for Mirage, right? So you want to hit as many targets as possible, which you do with Manifold Bomb because he basically has no cooldowns, and then you just use as many abilities as possible to reduce set cooldowns. So it's beautiful. It's really great. And yeah, that's about the companion, and that's the weapon. The weapon doesn't really matter. I think the Lacern is the best out of the Hound weapons, but I couldn't give zero fucks. This could be empty, and it would be the same. But you know, if you want to min max, then go for this. This is actually relevant because like he strips armor, and yeah, maybe the rest is kind of self-explanatory. And then as for the focus school, we are going to use Madurai. I think it's pretty obvious. Like you get 40% strength and you get 50% casting speed. And yeah, that's that. The infuse is roar, and the shards will be damage against corroded enemies. Alternatively, if you do not have the Archon mods, what you can do is you go 5 purples, because your mines will naturally do electric damage. And last but not least, the Parazone. Power Drain can be useful, and Blood for Energy just as well. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna keep it short and crisp. Thank you for watching, and peace out.